So how long have you been in ministry?
Let's see. Okay. Uh, that's an interesting question for many reasons. I have been uh, preaching for 13 years, right? Like preaching before people for 13 years. But I've been in ministry um, for 9 years. When I was 18 years old, yeah, 9 years. Um, Preaching longer, but like ministry as in like leading and like actually serving and involving myself in the service of ministry when it comes to people outside of just getting in front of because to me, I think I was getting in a pulpit, setting on a podium, I ministered, but I wouldn't say involved in ministry. I was just, a young minister that I was given the opportunity, but like working in ministry, leading ministry, involving myself, serving. I've been doing that for 9 years and preaching for 30 years. Fern Avenue is actually my home church, the church I was raised in, Orange. So yeah, well, absolutely. So first of all, as we know, the pandemic was and is very unprecedented. It was not planned. No one really could say they were prepared for this properly. Um, and so my great grandmother, which is currently our senior pastor and senior leader, she brought the concern that when it kind of it was a progressive thing. At first, it was just kind of like suggestive measures, just everyone to stay, be precautious, but it wasn't no idea that things would have to shut down. But when the idea or notion that we probably have to shut down, the concern is like, okay, so the church did not necessarily have a plan in relation to these things because we've done ministry here at the church, one type of style, so it definitely challenged our creativity. And so the initial idea was just like, hey, well, I guess we're going to have to, shut the doors of the church, until we're able to, meet again. And for me, me and my wife actually, Amanda, we talked about it. We was like, hey, because we have a ministry, King Jesus Ministry, in Carrollton, Georgia. So we don't just meet, together. We record our service and go live. And so we was like, hey, we should definitely suggest that the church can still, form have a service in place for people to watch at home and we can worship or be creative. And so we definitely had to think quick, but instead of the doors closing, which was initially the ideal plan, because there was no one else had any idea, me and my wife suggested that we should, find creative measures to go forward online. I think a lot of churches did the best they can. Truth be told, there to say, right or wrong, like if there's a right or wrong response, I can't say if there is a right or wrong response. The reason I say that is because this is a time that no one knew and no one ever experienced. And in saying this, it can be it can be tough to say if someone did it right or wrong. We did the best that we believe was best in our judgment. But I believe for every senior leader, they did what they believe was best. And for me, if you did what you believe was best for your congregation, you did right. We're definitely being precautious for us. I mean, my church, truthfully, if I can be honest, if this right now our ministry is that we oversee is in University of West Georgia, and right now the school itself is closed down for the rest of the year. And so we're doing our ministry online continuously because of that. But say, for instance, the school was reopened again. Um, I would definitely, because I'm a spiritual person, definitely for me in that instance, pray about it before making that call. However, I do know for college age students, the younger most times have much, the immune system can be built a little bit stronger. So idealistically, I would probably consider it more. Just consider it. I wouldn't say I would make a firm decision, but consider it more with social distancing probably in place still, because of the type of people that we'll be ministering to. But my church, though, it has a lot of older people there. And for me, I'm concerned because you look at the statistics, you look at, and I mean, really, it was first, you're saying that it was hitting the majority of people that with underlying conditions and people that was of an older age group. Now it's like it's kind of hitting so many people and you really don't know. But because of the audience with my church, I would think that we would it's already in place, but we will still take precautions because we want to make sure that everyone is safe. So we're speaking with my grandmother as of now until we just kind of like continue to kind of watch it out. We're gonna do online service until I guess not just we're not looking for a special news story or anything. It's just until everyone is comfortable again. Because I mean, definitely this is traumatic in so many ways for people. The entire life as people knew it was shifted, and so it's like it's not even just the matter of health of everyone of the world appearing healthy again, but I would say like the transition back into normality may take time, and in that we're being sensitive to the needs of people when it comes to the transition. And so even though that it is open again for us to gather, where we are kind of coaching people along to that process and just kind of watching as those that are a part of the congregation to see, okay, as we're coming forward into this transition, how are you feeling? Having conversations with people. How's your family? How's everyone? And so right now it's an adjustment. So until we know that we're all on the same page, right now we are going to continue doing online ministry until that adjustment is for the best interest of everyone. Definitely. Before we started pushing and promoting the church, before the stay-at-home order hit the church, it hit the schools. So schools was out first before it became a statewide issue, right? And so definitely because these are college students, we had to be creative, because it's like, it's the middle of the semester. We had plans as it relates to everyone that is involved, leadership, community service endeavors. We was getting ready to partner with some other nonprofit organizations. I mean, it was just a lot. So our plan of action for the semester just was we just had to totally redo it. And one of the greatest things is because we know everyone is going to be online. Right now, it's not even just, it challenged us to dive into another realm of excellence. And the reason I say that is because this was not online. Our online presence was an alternative or another way to view ministry. And in that, it wasn't as much energy surrounding it. We just made sure that it was enough where people could watch, view, and enjoy, But now, because this is our main source of ministry, this is our platform, this is our pulpit, what I'm saying? This is our altar. Because it's representing all of those things in this platform. We said, now, we got to make sure this platform isn't just a camera and a phone and a person. It's like this has to be an experience. This has to create an experience that anyone watching at home, they can say, this reminds me so much of PG at the campus. This creates the same energy. So I'm like, in order to do that, I honestly, I was thinking about like what makes our ministry, and many people enjoy the energy, the feeling, the experience, the community. So it's like, the impact. Literally, we have a full band weekly, and because everyone is social distancing, we couldn't bring a full band to my house to record while we go live. So I looked up apps that would allow for me to manipulate musical geniuses and that can follow behind and create a consistent flow. And we upgraded our audio so that when people are listening, they put the headphones in and it can feel the same as if you're inside of a building. And we wanted to upgrade so the commercials, the announcements, and so everyone can be involved. Our president of the UWG chapter, Team Jesus Ministry, is in Perry, Georgia. And he was able to minister to one of our recent encounters from Perry. He sent a file. We edited the file that he sent. We put music behind it, all those things, and we infused it into our service because every Wednesday night, we know that after praise and worship, he gets up and he says a few words that encourages. We're like, hey, let's see if we can find a way to involve him. And still, even though he's here, it still can be that same energy, and he did it. And so, we was like, hey, normally around this time we have our men's week, and this is where we have different men in the ministry to come and they share a scripture for about 5 minutes each on that Wednesday. So like, hey, let's do a Zoom Facebook Live, and then we created and get all the men that we was going to get and have them to all come in and they read their scriptures at home. So it's like, it definitely challenged our creativity, mainly because this was not just an option for people to view us. This was the main platform. And we had to make sure that if we're going to do it, especially with so many competing, and when I say competing, I'm not talking about like we're in competition with other ministry, but I'm just talking about in general with media. When you're on your phone and you got YouTube there, Netflix there, Facebook there, and Instagram there, you know what I'm saying? So we say, if you're going to be with us, you're taking time out of your schedule outside of the fact that it's just, Bible study. Like outside of the accountability of being part of a Bible study, we want to make sure that we're intriguing their interest and we're answering to that need, because we know it's necessary, especially for college age students. It's like, hey, the attention span can go that quickly. So we definitely was challenged, and then like you said about Team Jesus Ministry, you guys can follow us. We got Team Jesus at UWG, Team Jesus UWG. You'll find us, and Team Jesus GSU. That's another one of our chapters, the Georgia State University chapter. I think Gary actually came to one of our GSU services before. That was pretty awesome. That's one of our newer chapters, and we got another chapter that we are getting ready to launch next semester. So I don't want to put it out there yet till it's finished, but we are working on another chapter too. So pretty cool. So you guys can follow us there. You put in the Team Jesus and put in the name of the school. You should see us there. And then our Facebook is TJ Team Jesus. Team Jesus, yes. And then you can go to teamjesusinc.org if you want to get it got the name of our chapters and the website of those chapters are on there, and our bio, our mission, all of that. So you can check us out, teamjesusinc.org. We are officially incorporated as of December 27th, 2019. We was operating as a campus ministry alone, solely as a campus ministry, meaning like, just, how you just start an organization on campus, just do that. But now we are incorporated in the state so that we can do business outside of the state of Georgia. We can do business internationally. We can do much more now, which is our goal, which is to present love that will change and impact all people. And so that's our goal. That's what we're trying to do. So we want to be as impactful as possible. Yes, I see you catching my drift. There's a momentum that I'm trying to, and the excitement. I'm instigating excitement because I do think that after this, I believe that if this pandemic definitely affected the world in a way that we would never. It would be years. I was probably talking to my grandchildren about how I experienced COVID-19 in 2020. Oh my God, I believe that. So, and I say that to say, You know what I'm saying? If we are able to say, hey, we experienced this, and outside of the tragedies, outside of the news stories and headlines, hey, I get to still see you. For those that we're able, we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate the the fact that we are, able to celebrate. We're able to join together. Something that I've learned. One thing that I have valued more, and me and my wife were talking about this, is community. I've never, I've always valued community, but I've never really understood even the greater significance of community until this pandemic. It really did something for me. When I mean by community, I'm talking about the beauty behind the handshake, the beauty behind hugging someone, and the beauty behind being literally going to an event that someone invites you to, and having this pause that hit the world. Yes, absolutely. So when we, say outside of the okay measures of us coming out, I'm talking about when we're free and we're ready. I am excited because we're going to definitely come forth throttle. And this is not just for the pandemic. I'm making sure everyone understood. We did not just upgrade our media ministry for the pandemic, but it challenged us to take media ministry to the next level. So this would be continued, and we would build teams around it. We will create greater conversation around it, how we can continue to build it, increase it, and be able to reach, because we've reached so many people. There have been testimonies that's been coming in. There was one of our recent virtual encounters. I don't really have time to go into it, but basically there was a young lady in California. She was blessed, and the way God blessed her was phenomenal. It was supernatural, and we was able to reach someone all the way in Georgia, and I didn't even know they were connected. And so there's people in New York City, people in Chicago, the Carolinas. We got a family that comes together every week and watches Texas as a family. And so to know that we've actually reached more in the last month because we've increased our engagement concerning media. It's like, hey, this is ministry, 2.0. This is the upgrade. I mean, we're able to do so much more impact. So we cannot go back to how things was. I do feel as though, even though we're trying to return back to normality, some things can't go back to how it was. I think that as we was challenged to do better in a lot of areas of our life, we need to remain. So I don't think that we should say, okay, we're back to things. No, some things, this was to definitely help us to become better. And as we become better, we should not go back to some things. So we're going to come back. We're going to come back excited. We're going to come back pushing. We're going to come back loving one another. And we're going to come back doing ministry in a greater scale. So with the tools we've gained, we're not throwing them away when COVID-19 is over. We're going to continuously utilize them. That's a good question, man, because it's so many things that the Lord has taught me during the time. And just hearing you ask me that question just brought me back to many conversations that I had with God. Many conversations that I had with God during this time. But to sum it all up, and I don't mean to be cliche or just like vague, but it's really the truth. God taught me how to trust Him. I mean, seriously, trust Him. I honestly, I think for a lot of pastors around the world, I can speak on their behalf, right? Because, okay, number one, which is probably for another conversation we would have to have, there are a lot of pastors that are coming to a building that is empty every week and standing in front of a camera, declaring the gospel. They don't have the amen corner there, They don't have the preach pastor, they don't have that. They don't even have the supporting silence where, people are actively engaged, listening to every word they say. All they have is themselves, number one, God themselves, and the trust in God that they have to carry and keep as they go before people weekly. Not sure who's on, not sure who's going to remain, but it's actually bringing to me back the authentic value of the gospel of Jesus Christ. That it's not about one thing or the other. It's not about how many people you fill in the seat. Beautiful. We want to get people in the seat for sure. But it's not about that. It's not about how well you can hoop or how well you can do one thing. It's about making sure that the gospel is articulated, understood, and comprehended and received. And honestly, in order to do that, they had to really bring back the relationship, in my opinion, the relationship that you have with God. And that's what it did to me. It challenged me to trust God more. Sometimes in ministry, we can sometimes become codependent on the people. Like the people showing up, the people doing this, the people being in place. That's wonderful thing. But ultimately, what was the assignment that God has given you from the beginning? And it brought me back to the place of my salvation, Garrett, when God first saved me, when he changed my life, when I didn't have a title, I didn't have a ministry. All I knew was my experience with God, and I want to tell everybody about it. And it's like this has brought me to a place of remembering even the more or valuing my moments with God and sharing it with people. It's crazy. But again, like I said, it taught me how to trust God. It taught me how to trust God because, my job, I was working with kids, and I was furloughed during this time because, right now we can't see the children. So I was furloughed, and then, there's still a demand to minister weekly. And again, it brought me to a place because, again, I've gotten used to routine. And sometimes when there's a lot of routine in place, when there is routine in place, it can take away avenues that trust can come alive. Because you're used to, like when I got this chair that I'm sitting in right now, I sit in this chair so often, I don't check to make sure that it is sturdy. It's a routine that when I sit down, I know it's going to hold me up. So I had a routine, I would go to work. I would work with the kids. I'm done by 4:00. Wednesdays, be driving to Carrollton. We're doing ministry. Thursdays, I'm doing ministry. And it's kind of like it became a routine. So my routine was interrupted. And it's like, okay, so what are you going to do now? It showed me, okay, at the end of the day, outside of everything that I have in place, my ultimate source for living, for life, for provision, for health, it's like I said, even one more thing I want to add is even we see how COVID-19 was increasing. It still is. How you're saying it could be on surfaces. You can go jogging and their wind of their breath could hit you and you got COVID-19. It just increased. And so it's like, well, son, are you going to walk around just, or are you going to trust me? Because it's like, it came to the place now. It's like on everything. It could be on your shoe. It could be on your clothes. You don't know. But again, it taught me to trust God holistically, not just choose when I trust Him. It really brought me to that place. And I believe it stirred my faith. And so one thing God taught me and showed me in prayer, in time with Him, how to trust Him. It reminded me how I need Him more than I need anything else.